Hi, welcome to Recap Revolution. After losing his family in a tragic attack, a 6-year-old boy is saved by a soldier and begins his journey to become the youngest hero in Russia. Today, we're going to tell the story of the 2019 movie Soldier Boy. The story begins in the 1940s, during the tough days of World War II. A little boy named Sergei Aleshkov is relaxing by a tree, enjoying nature. Nearby, his mother is washing clothes by the river, and his older brother Petya is trying to catch fish for their dinner. Suddenly, a warplane appears in the sky and starts shooting at them. The mother quickly tells her sons to hide, but Sergei, with surprising courage, uses his slingshot and hits the plane, causing it to crash. He thinks he has saved the day, but when he looks back, his mother and brother are nowhere to be seen. Just then, Sergei wakes up. It was only a dream. Someone is knocking at the door. Thinking it might be his mother, he hurries to open it, but instead, it's his aunt, Anicia. She looks very worried. She tells Sergei that his mother and brother have been killed and that it's not safe for him to stay. She plans to take him with her and pretend he is her own son so that the soldiers don't hurt him. Before they can leave, German soldiers storm the house. Anicia helps Sergei escape through a window, but she is shot by the soldiers. Now all alone, Sergei runs into the forest, frightened and unsure of where to go. He still hopes his mother will come for him, but he has no idea how hard things are about to get. A few hours later, he's by a river, trying to drink water, when he sees a group of soldiers nearby. Still scared from everything that happened, Sergei hides under the roots of a big tree. While hiding, something terrifying happens. A snake slithers next to him. He's terrified, but he knows he has to stay quiet to survive. For Sergei, nothing is more scary than ending up like his family. While he hides nearby, the soldiers light a fire and take a break to rest. After they eat, they put out the fire and leave. Once they're gone, Sergei finally gets the courage to move away from the scary snake. He's starving, so he picks up one of the empty cans the soldiers left behind, hoping there's still some food inside. Days go by, and the little boy becomes so weak he can hardly walk. He finds a few tiny fruits on the ground and eats them. But just then, bombs start falling from the sky, and Sergei is forced to run again. Later that day, it begins to rain. Sergei is cold, tired, and has no energy to look for a place to hide. After some time, 2 Russian soldiers find him lying on the ground. They take him to their camp. At the camp, Sergei meets Commander Kuznetsov. The man quickly asks the other soldiers to help the boy. They feed him and clean him up. A few hours later, the soldiers sit together and talk about their families, trying to relax before another fight. But out of nowhere, a bomb explodes near the medical tent. Sergei gets hurt, but is taken care of by a kind nurse named Katya. After the explosion, more injured soldiers arrive, and Katya hurries to help everyone. Even though Sergei is hurt and tired, he keeps talking and asking questions. He's very curious about what it means to be a soldier. Slowly, he starts to become part of the group, and everyone begins to care deeply about him. One day, Katya is called outside by another soldier. To her surprise, they find a goat standing there. No one knows how the animal got there, but they're all happy. Now they can have milk and maybe even cheese, which are very hard to find during the war. Commander Kuznetsov arrives with his men. He checks on Sergei and is happy to see the boy getting better. Sergei tells him he got a big injection, and it hurt a lot. Sergei tells the commander that at first he wanted to run away, but then because he was brave, he chose to stay. He asks to see the commander's pistol. Kuznetsov unloads the weapon and carefully gives it to him. Sergei notices a name written on the side and asks what it means. The commander explains that it's a special weapon, given to him by General Ostershow. Sergei becomes even more excited and pretends he is firing the gun. But Kuznetsov gently takes it back, saying the boy is still too young to play with such things. Then, Sergei proudly shows off a drawing of a battle tank he made on his belly with a marker. He asks the commander if he owns a plane. When Kuznetsov says no, Sergei draws one on the bandage on his arm to give him one. After the commander leaves the tent, Nurse Katya gathers her courage and goes to speak with him. She asks if Sergei can stay with them at the camp, but Kuznetsov quickly says no. He tells her that a child should not be in a war zone and that Sergei will be taken to an orphanage. Later, some soldiers come to visit Sergei. He is very excited to try binoculars for the first time. After they leave, Rezo comes to see him. Sergei happily runs into his arms. Rezo gives him a piece of candy. Like the others, Rezo is getting close to the boy too. That night, Katya speaks with another nurse. She says she hasn't been able to sleep since Sergei came. Katya says something inside her changed the moment she saw him, like a mother's feeling. She says she doesn't want him near the war and wants him to be safe. But at the same time, she is scared that if the commander sends him away, she will never be able to see him again. The next morning, Igor goes to talk to Commander Kuznetsov. Igor tries to make him understand that everyone in the camp cares deeply about Sergei. He explains that when they see the boy, it reminds them why they're fighting, to protect children like him and their future. Kuznetsov admits that he also cares about the boy, but he says he has to do what's right. not just what feels good. He tells Igor that the paperwork for the orphanage is already done, and the men should start preparing to say goodbye. A few hours later, during an enemy attack, Kuznetsov gives the order to fire back at the enemy. He then goes to the battlefield to help Katya, who is rescuing a wounded soldier. When the fighting is over, they return to the camp. The man from the orphanage is already there, waiting in a car to take Sergei away. Everyone starts to say goodbye. Katya is heartbroken and walks away quietly without saying anything to the boy. Kuznetsov sits next to Sergei and wants to explain what's going to happen. But before he can say a word, Sergei begins to cry and hugs him tightly. Sergei tells the commander that he had been waiting for him and was afraid he wouldn't see him again. Hearing this, the commander gives him a small wooden toy shaped like a gun. Then, he asks Sergei if he would like to be his son. Sergei says yes, and the two hug each other. At that moment, Kuznetsov tears up the orphanage papers. Now that Sergei is part of their family, the next step is to find clothes that fit him. Igor finds some old uniforms and asks the tailor to sew a small one for the boy. Later, Katya arrives with the smallest boots she could find. The shoemaker makes a few changes, so they would be just right for Sergei. The next morning, Kuznetsov goes to wake Sergei. He tells the boy that, like a real soldier, he has only 45 seconds to get dressed. Then he hands over the new uniform. Sergei is very excited and runs to get changed, but before getting dressed, he points out that the commander has a sticker on his face. Kuznetsov explains that he accidentally cut himself while shaving. To count the 45 seconds, the commander lights a match and tells Sergei he must be ready before the fire goes out. After a few tries, the boy finally finishes getting dressed. They step out of the tent, and Sergei proudly shows off his new uniform to the others. Just then, a surprise attack begins. The commander quickly runs to protect his son. He tells one of the soldiers to take Sergei to a safe place, while the others hide in the trenches. During the bombing, some soldiers are hurt. Sergei goes to the medical tent to help. He brings water and does whatever he can to assist. One soldier, who has bandages over his eyes, asks Sergei to read a letter from his family. But since the boy can't read yet, he makes up good news, so the man can feel happy. As the bombs continue to fall outside, Sergei offers to sing to help calm everyone down. His voice brings comfort and hope to the wounded soldiers. After those stressful moments, Sergei falls asleep on Katya's lap. Kuznetsov comes in and sits beside her. He wants to talk to her, but Sergei wakes up and interrupts them. Later, while the camp is being fixed, two soldiers see Sergei pretending to shave. They joke and ask if he's getting ready for a date. Sergei replies seriously, saying that soldiers don't go on dates. After that, he goes to the commander to ask what job he has for the day. Kuznetsov notices a bandage on Sergei's face and asks what happened. The boy explains that he also cut himself while shaving, just like his father did earlier. The commander gives him a new task. Go to the truck, get the letters that just arrived, and give them to the soldiers. As Sergei delivers the letters, the soldiers become very happy, some even dancing with joy. Seeing this, Sergei feels proud of his new job. After finishing, he puts on his camouflage outfit and sneaks around the camp for fun. Looking through his binoculars, he spots a pair of boots hiding behind some hay. He quickly runs back and tells the others. A few soldiers, including Andrei, go with him to check the hiding spot. There, they find two enemy soldiers hiding. After a short gunfight, they capture them. Sergei proudly returns to camp after the mission is complete. While talking with one of his men, Commander Kuznetsov hears that his son helped capture two enemy spies. The commander is surprised and proud. He's even more impressed because Sergei didn't brag about it. Later, Sergei comes into his room. Kuznetsov smiles and shares great news. He has received official permission to adopt the boy. From now on, they are legally father and son. Sergei is thrilled and jumps with joy. He asks his father to come with him to tell the news to Katya. The boy says he once saw her crying when the commander was hurt in battle. This surprises Kuznetsov, but he agrees to go with Sergei. Meanwhile, Katya is washing up at the river. A soldier sneaks up, takes her coat, and tries to flirt by giving her some flowers he picked. Katya feels uncomfortable and asks for her coat back. At that moment, Sergei and the commander arrive. Kuznetsov sees what is happening and gently pulls his son back. He watches from a distance, not sure what to do. But Sergei escapes his father's arms and runs toward Katya, calling for his father. Embarrassed, Kuznetsov quickly leaves before she can see him. A few days later, during another battle, Sergei walks through the trenches looking for Igor. Igor gives him some ammo and then tells him to go to the underground shelter. Sergei doesn't want to leave the other soldiers, but Igor firmly reminds him that a good soldier must follow orders. Sergei finally agrees and leaves, or at least pretends to. On his way, he overhears his father talking with other soldiers about a broken communication wire. Some men had been sent to fix it. Sergei decides to help. He crawls on the ground to stay hidden and safe. Soon, he finds one of the injured men. Sergei asks how to fix the wire. The man gives him instructions, and the boy carefully connects the broken ends. Because of this, the communication system starts working again. Kuznetsov is able to call for reinforcements just in time. Sergei's bravery helps save many lives. After the battle, Sergei comes up with a new mission. He wants to help bring Katya and his father together. He rushes to the nurse and tells her that the commander is sick. Worried, Katya runs with him to Kuznetsov's room. They find the commander lying face down on the table. Katya quickly checks on him, calling his name. Outside, Sergei hides and watches the scene, smiling. Kuznetsov wakes up suddenly and says he's fine. Katya is confused and explains that Sergei told her he was sick. At that moment, Kuznetsov understands everything. His son planned it all to bring them together. Kuznetsov tries to tell Katya how he feels, but he struggles to find the right words. Katya, feeling awkward, quickly walks away. Not wanting to lose his chance, the commander follows her. Meanwhile, Sergei climbs a tree with his binoculars to observe the camp. From up there, he sees a group of rescue dogs arriving. Excited, he runs over to greet them. Later, he asks for permission to take a walk with the dogs. He climbs onto a wheeled stretcher and the dogs pull him happily, but suddenly they spot a cat and start chasing it at full speed. The problem is, they're heading straight toward a minefield. Realizing the danger, Rezo jumps on a motorcycle and rushes to stop the dogs in time. Thankfully, he manages to reach them before anything bad happens. Seeing that Sergei is safe, Rezo breathes a deep sigh of relief. Back in the forest, Kuznetsov finally catches up to Katya. He still doesn't know how to express his feelings, so he mentions Sergei instead. He tells her that the boy loves her very much. Then he asks if she would like to become the boy's mother. But just before Katya can answer, a soldier arrives with a letter. It's a message from Army headquarters. The next day, the soldiers prepare to move out. After a few hours of marching, they stop to rest at a house owned by local farmers. While eating, they learn that a German bomb had fallen into the house. It crashed through the ceiling and into the floor, but miraculously, it did not explode. The soldiers work together to remove the bomb safely, preventing a disaster. Once the danger is gone, the group continues their journey. Sergei rides in a vehicle with Rezo and his father. Suddenly, there's a loud explosion. Their vehicle has hit a mine. The entire battalion realizes they've entered a minefield. Everyone is in shock. Sergei is shaken. Just ahead, he finds Rezo lying still. He didn't survive the blast. Heartbroken, the boy continues with the others until they finally reach their next destination. While Commander Kuznetsov speaks with the general, Sergei asks what task he can do next. The general tells him to check the soldiers' uniforms. Sergei works with an officer, inspecting each soldier's boots and clothes. He carefully writes down the names of those who need new gear. After finishing his job, he returns to the general's office to hand over the report. That night, Sergei and his father walk through the forest together. They talk about the award ceremony happening soon, the Guard insignia. This special badge is given to those who risk their lives for their country. To everyone's pride, Sergei will also receive this honor. But just as they celebrate this news, a bomb suddenly falls. Kuznetsov is buried under rubble. Sergei tries to dig him out, but the debris is too heavy for a child. After the bombing stops, the other soldiers come to help. They manage to free the commander and give him medical treatment. Though badly injured, Kuznetsov slowly recovers. Before long, he is back on his feet, ready to march with his fellow soldiers. In 1943, Sergei is officially awarded a Medal of Honor. He becomes the youngest soldier to be decorated in World War II. So, what did you think of this powerful story? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.